Hello, everybody. My name is Ebony Cochran, and I am co-director of REACT, which stands for Rubbertown Emergency Action. We are a group of grassroots neighbors who live near or at the fence line of a cluster of chemical facilities, commonly referred to as Rubbertown. What we're fighting for are strong laws to stop toxic air pollution coming from chemical facilities. We're fighting for the protection of residents in the event of a leak, fire, or explosion in a chemical facility or a rail car. And we're fighting for full disclosure and easy access to information concerning the impact um, on residents living in the area. For me, when it comes to vision, I mean, in short, the vision is clean air, air that does not um, wreak havoc on the health of the people living on this earth, a vision of healing the earth through better practices, a vision of, I think it's multifaceted. I think that part of our vision is to connect with other groups who are working on justice issues for other issues, because all of this, in my opinion, boils down to greed. I think that's the common denominator between all of the injustices that we experience, and I think it's about making sure that what we're doing leads to future generations and current generations benefiting from reductions in their exposure to toxic chemicals. I think React became involved with Coming Clean very early on. So React was initially a campaign of the environmental, no, I'm sorry, of the Justice Resource Center, which was a local organization here led by the late Reverend Lewis Coleman. And shortly after that campaign began, like several months later, React actually became an independent organization. And so as we became an independent organization, we were able to still tap into some of the resources that the Justice Resource Center had, and Coming Clean was one of those resources. And for us, Coming Clean has been, I think it was around 2003, 2004. And I remember that there may have been a general meeting here, I think, because a lot of Coming Clean folks were here. And one of the most memorable things that happened is that we had learned that there was another group that was hosting a state official, and we basically just barged into their meeting with our signs and our Coming Clean allies. It was beautiful. But anyway, we barged into this meeting, and these people were like, "What the heck?" And even so, the room was really, really small. And so they ended up moving their meeting to the lobby of the building because we basically demanded that this state official listen to us, and we wanted answers. And I think one thing that was really memorable about it was that as we were going down the elevator got stuck with Coming Clean and React folks on there. And so I don't know if you would call it a joke, but it was understood that that was done on purpose. So, and I kind of think people felt proud about that. You go demonstrate and then they shut the elevator down. I mean, we must have made some kind of impact. Well, we've always felt that we are and have been experts in this environmental justice, arena, um, especially of our own experiences. And so the decision makers early on discredited us. Of course, industry did. And I feel like even though we still had the confidence that we had a voice and we had a valid voice, what Coming Clean brought to the table was they made us legitimate in the eyes of decision makers. And that took things to the next level. We were able to really tap into the expertise I was talking about earlier of Coming Clean. And we utilized that expertise. There was a proposed set of regulations called the STAR program. And it was proposed maybe back in 2003 was when we started working on supporting this initiative. And over 2 years, between 2003, 2005, we sent 3 people to each Metro Council meeting that happens twice a month. And those meetings are televised. So we were able, with the help of Coming Clean, getting information from them. Coming Clean helped with helping us draft our comments about the set of regulations. And so we were able to take talking points, give them to people within the community based on what we knew and based on the information that we gleaned from Coming Clean, sent people to these televised Metro Council meetings that and they were aired on this station that is so boring, like you could fall asleep to it. But I remember walking into Kroger, the grocery store, and the bread guy saying to me, "I saw you on TV." And I'm thinking, what? People watch this? So we were able to take, the expertise of Coming Clean, our passion, our testimonials, true data, because when we only did the testimonials, you could kind of see the eyes of decision makers glossing over. But with the data that we gained from Coming Clean, plus our testimonies, plus that boring television network or whatever, we were able not only to educate Metro Council members, but we were able to educate community members who actually watched the Metro Council meetings. And what happened, one of the big, the STAR program actually was adopted in 2005. We were able to gather almost 4,000 signatures in support of it from the community. The paper reported that was the largest response that any kind of hearing had ever had, as far as comments and people attending the hearings. With all of the protests that happened over the summer, I saw new people from afar. I saw new people who became more interested in fighting for justice. And that makes me hopeful, that their ears are opening, their minds are opening, and they understand that they have a voice and that they can make an impact. So I think there's huge opportunity there to tap into those new folks. I think we have the ear of several decision makers, and I think there's an opportunity there for REACT to connect those decision makers with the expertise of Coming Clean, and all of us work together to build something really solid here policy-wise in Louisville. We are currently working on a health literacy project with one of the council persons on Metro Council, and I'm really excited about that. It's about centered around legal notices and how communication is done toward community, so that communities understand that they can participate in processes. I think that folks in Coming Clean need to just dig in and stick with this and for the long haul. I also think that a focus should be made to train on the ground fence line residents and organizations, so that we can train other community members on different information and data that the community can use to fight for environmental justice. So I would love that. I love that I feel connected and I can just call a scientist somewhere and ask them a question. But I want that connection to be much deeper. I want it to be much more meaningful. Early on, what we realized doing this work is that because this has been decades upon decades of chemical assaults in our community, that people feel hopeless, they feel helpless. And when we would knock on doors, they would be like, "Oh, that's been happening since the 40s or the 50s, and nobody's going to do anything about it." But what we want to do is plant that seed so they know that we just have to keep pushing and pushing. So we hope to that the community feels more empowered, that the community is more knowledgeable, that the community has access to information. That's what I hope that we will have contributed.